Hello and welcome to another exciting video. We're just jumping right into it because there's a lot of stuff to talk about today. But first, I'm going to crack open a beer. Yes, I did that for the, the thumbnail because I'll screenshot that later. But to start off, if we're going to start off with a half acre Oktoberfest lager. It's got a pretty cool can, if you guys want to look. Ooh, fancy. Sorry for it being way too bright on here. Yeah, I can't help it. The one light is like way too bright in this, and it drives me nuts every video. But yeah, it's brewed right here in Chicago, so that's good. Brewed and canned, obviously. 5.8% alcohol by volume. That's a pint. Gotta love our pints, right? Especially if you're a hobbit. And passes the smell test. It smells pretty alright. It requires another sip. Now it's pretty alright. It's a little on the lighter side. But yeah. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Literally have 2 full pages worth of notes here. So yeah. Take my little pen off of there for a minute. Yeah, this got like wet and torn, so some of my notes are like all over the place. So if I have a hard time reading them, it's off of memory, okay? Some quick cup news. We're just gonna go right down my list in order today. And see where we go from there. You guys probably already know by now that Cole Custer was fined $100,000 and lost 50 driver and owners points. Just double checking to make sure I'm not repeating something, because I did have to tear out a page. Yeah, my notes were all messed up this week. But yeah, Cole Custer fined 100,000, loss of 50 driver and owner points. His crew chief Michael Shiplet fined 100,000 and suspended indefinitely, which is crazy, guys. I don't think he needed to be suspended indefinitely. Maybe just till the end of the season, but whatever. Team orders, like, come on, guys. It's motorsports. There's team owners in every form of racing, even in NASCAR. And I don't know if NASCAR is just trying to set an example or what they're doing. NASCAR's been all over the fucking place this year with fines and penalties, and then things getting overturned by the committee or the panel or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Yeah, that shit's crazy. By now you guys probably know that Jimmy Owens won the Flow Racing Night in America. I can't even read my own handwriting. But whatever, that's at 411 Speedway. Other dirt news. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jimmy Owens won. Or I already said Jimmy Owens. I'm reading like three things at once. Uh, David Gravel, that's it. Won at I-80 in the World of Outlaws sprint car. Um, yeah, I guess he's um, undefeated since his child was born. He had a child born last week, which is pretty cool. New father. I'm skipping right through things. I know there was other dirt stuff going on. I'd like to start talking about that first. Get that out of the way. Because there's a lot of NASCAR news this week. Holy shit, was there a lot. Oh, and then the other World of Outlaws race this past weekend. James McFadden won the Dennis Roth Classic at Lakeside Speedway. That was pretty cool, actually. And I guess that's Roth Motorsports' 99th win, if I'm not mistaken, in that car, or for that team. That's pretty cool. 19-year-old Garrett Smith won the Lucas race, the late model race at Portsmouth. And McCready won the championship just by showing up. That's basically all they had to do was enter and take a time for qualifying to be crowned the champion. Garrett Albertson is your Rookie of the Year this year. Saw that, and I didn't even write that down. I did that from memory. How about that, guys? Blah, blah, blah. Alright. I think the rest of my notes here, I know you guys are probably disappointed, but when I sit here and read my notes, whatever. I'm drinking, don't care. If I don't write shit down, I'm not going to remember it most of the time. I would be able to do it from memory if I did these daily or multiple times a day, but what can you do? Oh yeah, the up until this, leading up to the two Cup and Xfinity races this weekend. I'm sure a lot of you guys already heard Dodge is no longer interested in being in the Cup Series. The horsepower is... NASCAR's going down with their horsepower while, they're sticking with drag racing because it keeps going up. But people keep building quicker cars, and there's a lot of wiggle room and the rules to do that stuff. Yeah, I'm not surprised Dodge is sticking with NASCAR, especially with all their bullshit they've been doing lately. Excuse me. Yeah. NASCAR's losing it, guys. I saw a rumor that they want to run up to 40 races next year. What the fuck? That's too many. These people barely see their families at all. Even off season, they spend so much time working on the cars for the next year. That's a lot of work for a race team. These people hardly ever see their families. I know a lot of them work, 80, 100 hours a week, if not more. Especially the real dedicated teams or the small teams. When half of it's volunteer labor and these people are still putting in a shit ton of hours, let me tell you. And it's not an easy task to run any kind of race team. Even at a local level nowadays, if you want to be anywhere competitive, You might have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the help, the support, um, whether it be personnel, financially, whatever, um, you can still do terribly. Um, Racing's a money sport. What can I say? Um, let's see. Bowman's out still. Gregson will still be in the car even next week, from what I hear, possibly. Let's see. Oh, guys, Chili Bowl. It's 100% going to be on Flow this year. No switching to Mav TV for the last day. I always thought that was kind of bullshit, and now that Flow is basically taken over Mav TV from Lucas Oil, it just makes sense. Who wants to watch an entire week of racing and not be able to watch the finals because they don't want to shell out the $300 it is for Mav TV for the year? Fuck that. I'd rather spend the $150 that Flow is, unless they had a price increase. It's probably still way more affordable. Even XR is $300 a year. Come on, guys, do better. Yeah. All right. Back to NASCAR news. Kurt Busch announced that he's stepping away from full-time racing. A lot of you guys are saying he retired. He did not. He's just stepping down from full-time racing. It really, really sucks with how terrible this car was. Constructed and built, and how stiff the back ends are, and them catching fire the first 2/3 of the year, and safety. It's all about safety. I'm just saying, hardly any, serious injuries that have come from sorry, it's super windy outside, and in this garage it sounds terrifying. Plus there was a pack of wolves that just attacked someone's dog. Yeah, getting freaky outside. I'm glad I'm in here. It's also starting to get cold, but apparently it's going to warm up back to mid-70s later this week. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. People getting hurt. Shouldn't happen. Shame on you, NASCAR. Just saying. Shit, I need another drink after that. That pissed me off. Yeah. They should have built a safer car to begin with. I know for the last 2 years, drivers have been complaining that they don't feel like the next gen car is going to be safe enough, and they're kind of proving it. I mean, with the amount of drivers that have been out due to injury this year because of for minor accidents, yeah, it just shouldn't happen. NASCAR should have done better, known better. Shouldn't have just rolled it out because they said they were going to roll it out. They should have done a little bit more data with all the safety, not just front and even side impacts have really hurt them this year. Especially the first half of the season, a lot of drivers were saying those were the hardest hits they've ever taken. For minor accidents, too. Like, what outwardly looks minor for us. Yeah, that's my little rant on safety. I wish Kurt Busch the best of luck. Always been one of my more favorite drivers. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, I probably said a lot, but mostly I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. Ah. But there are other things that have pissed me off this week as well. Like the Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace incident. As of a couple hours ago, before recording this, NASCAR officially suspended him one race. Just one. Yeah, no fines, no penalties. Just sitting out a race. I should have sat him for the rest of the race. I liked Bubba. It's been rubbing me the wrong way. His attitude. I know you're put under a microscope and all, but gotta check yourself. You could have killed someone. And that's terrifying, especially with all the safety that drivers were even warned about this week. With meetings and all that stuff and updates for next year. Next year. Not even now. At least NASCAR's covering the fix for the back ends of the cars next year. I think that's mighty generous for a multi-billion-dollar company. Cost of only a couple million, probably. Couple $100 million total. But still, that's fucked up. Yeah, I think Bubba should have been suspended for the rest of the year at least. That's my opinion. And, yeah. I mean, they did that to Matt Kenseth. Then again, there was only like 1 or 2 races left for his bad thing. But like the incident with Ty Gibbs on pit road a couple weeks ago, that fucker should have been suspended indefinitely. And his was arguably way worse of an accident than Bubba's. Because he could have killed multiple people in one go there. Yeah, that was terrifying. I get that he's a Gibbs and whatever. But seriously, that dude needs to fucking check himself. Because Cup guys do not deal with that shit at all. I'm sure internally a lot of drivers are fucking pissed off and owners are pissed off at Ty Gibbs right now. But everyone's probably pissed off at Bubba Wallace right now too. I think every YouTuber has agreed on Bubba should be suspended. And honestly, I think for way more than just the one race. He should also have been fined and docked points and all that shit. But that's my rant on that. Oh, did you guys see Mario Andretti drove a modern F1 car for McLaren at Laguna Seca this past weekend? That shit was awesome. I'm just saying, it was super awesome. Yeah, changing gears. Mario said it made him feel alive or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote that he tweeted the other day, but it was really cool to watch that. It was also cool to see like Pato O'Ward in a Senna car. There's all sorts of cool stuff that McLaren did. I saw Tanner Faust was in an old McLaren, older McLaren. That was really cool too. Moving on. AJ Allmendinger. That dude totally got screwed by his team. Getting a wheel loose like that. Yeah, it was sad. Front runner all day. Now he's like what 16 points out or something like that. That's crazy. Um, 'Cause he had a cushion, but not like Noah Gragson has, which I think is odd. Because they're like right next to each other like every race. Gregson finishes runner-up at Vegas this week to his teammate Josh Berry. Um, yeah. Sorry, Noah. But speaking of Josh Berry, Junior Motorsports officially extended his contract or re-signed him for another year or whatever. It's all the same in my opinion, which is good. I mean, he was probably going to resign anyway. I don't see him racing for anybody but Junior, or if he moves up the Cup Series for Hendrick one day. That would be pretty cool. Now my nose is starting to run because I'm outside and yeah, and beer. Beer also makes my nose run. But yeah. Oh, also in the Xfinity race, Haley Deegan made her first official Xfinity Series start, and she did pretty good, pretty solid. Not gonna lie. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but she's in like super good equipment and blah blah blah. It still takes talent to wheel those Xfinity Series cars around. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when you're driving around drivers who don't want to take each other out every week, like they do in the Truck Series, where it's one groove and they're wide open all the way around just about every track. You can tell the driver's tracks because Haley just excels on those. She's good. She can wheel. Even in karts, if you guys watch her YouTube, you see her race those go-karts every once in a while, or the midgets, or micros. Not a midget, it's a micro. Smaller. The winged and non-winged. Takes a lot of talent to wheel those cars, too. Let me tell you, those are a hustle. When every tiny little thing is big movements for the car. Yeah. Takes a lot of talent to wheel. And I think she's going to shine pretty bright. I hope she gets a full-time Xfinity ride next year. Because she's a Ford driver, and allegedly David Gilliland Racing next year is going to Toyota, who she drives for. So it'll be cool. Maybe she'll move into another SHR car or something. I don't know. But she did really good. I was very impressed. She finished 13th, if you guys didn't know. Right around her was this year's ARCA Series champion, not Raja Karuth, although he was also in the race, and all three of them were like right there in a group. Sanchez, Nick Sanchez, I believe his name is, finished one spot ahead of her. I think Raja was just behind her or something like that, or just in front of Sanchez. I don't remember. But they were all like top 15 cars, like all day. She didn't lead 8 laps, which is fine. I mean, pretty hard to run. She started 20th though, so she moved up. She worked at it, and she hustled. I was very impressed. Blah blah blah. Let me skip through. I already covered some of this. Oh, Ryan Blaney completely got screwed. One little mistake, and I hate it for that guy. He's been the most consistent driver all season long. Was looking like he was probably going to win the race instead of his teammate Joey Logano. Yeah, those Penske cars were pretty dominant all day. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I was going to talk about with the Xfinity race is that fucking fictitious caution that they threw with Brandon Jones getting a little extra loose, but not even tire smoke coming out the back, nothing. He was, he kept right on going. He was doing just fine, and NASCAR still threw the caution. I mean, the fuck, NASCAR? Just because you wanted to bring closer together is the whole reason why Allmendinger had an issue. Completely changed the complexion of the race, just like last week at the Roval for the Cup Series. I mean, that whole race should not have been a shit show last week. That should have been all Chase Elliott winning last week instead of Christopher Bell winning his way in, because he would not have made it in otherwise. If he finished second, he would have not made it into the next round. Yeah. What else do we got here? Oh yeah. So since Bubba's not in the car this week, or coming week, that Miami Homestead, or Homestead Miami, whatever you want to call it, John Hunter Nemechek will be in that car, which I'm not surprised. I mean, he's earned it. He's worked pretty hard this year. He's been slightly disappointing, I think, with his performances. He should have won a lot more races this year, my opinion, especially with the equipment he's been in. It's been race-winning equipment. So, disappointed in him, but it's nice to see that he's getting called up to the big leagues. Probably about the only other Toyota driver they trust, since Ty Gibbs is in the other car. Not that they really trust him, but Ty's on. He did all right the first couple of races he was in there, but he's been back of the pack mostly since then. But yeah, the only other thing I have was a Spire Motorsports announcement earlier, well, for me today, for you guys, or yesterday now, as you guys are watching this. But Spire announced their driver lineup. They will continue to have... I am losing my mind this week. I swear to God. Things have not been well. Oh, yeah. Corey LaJoie, we already knew was extending for another year. But in the 77 car, they're going to put Ty Dillon in there. I'm assuming it's going to be the 77. I didn't really watch the whole presser. I had other things going on. Actually working on some other videos that already came out yesterday as you're watching this. So go check those out on my other channel, Andrew Schlaff, on YouTube, and or Andrew Schlaff Gaming, I think, something like that. I don't know. I should know, but I don't. I should add a V8. I don't know. I think that's all I got for you guys. If you haven't done so already and you made it all the way this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you get all future videos. I might even throw in a surprise bonus video here and there. I thought about doing a YouTube Shorts video earlier with the Bubba Wallace news. Should have been like, breaking! But yeah, the rest of YouTube's already covered that in the video already, as I've seen. I like these kind of more longer form, because then you get me for 20-30 minutes or so, or right around 30 minutes now. So hey, I can't believe I could talk that long, huh? Not bad for an introvert. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you in the next video.